more questions? Yes.
We're going to have to, my question deal with Inca and Nancy. We're going to go to Holy Tablet, chapter 1.
Right here.
Chapter 2.
What page you got? What page?
21 in the revised.
What page you got?
Page 21 in the revised. In chapter 1, chapter 2, verse 95. It's talking about Anu in his garden and he hated children he got. And we never talk about Nancy mama. And then you got Ingrid being a half reptilian. You got 6 concubines. You got 66 more children. We don't talk about them. And I'm trying to see is it dealing with ranks because Ingrid had leadership. He was a half reptilian once, Anu came down 500,000 years ago. And he bred, so, he ended up being in charge. So I was trying to see, was he like the only reptilian out of all of those, 6
He's the only one. Because remember, he had to have that coalition on Earth. The problem was here, Tiamat. Because Tiamat now felt an aggressive when they seen these Anunnakis coming for gold. So in the Bible, they call it the gold of heaven. So now let's walk through it. Anu gives birth to his first son, Enki. But it wasn't of a pure gene. It was a gene of the snake and the reptilian gene. In order to bring about a coalition here on Earth. And if we show everybody a picture of what they look like, they can see what we mean. Sedidius was the father of this young lady here. Because he was half humanoid, half, you can see, these were his 2 relatives. These were really the foundation of how they say when water creatures came out of the water, this is what they look like. When a protozoa broke off into a metazoa and it started stretching out the skeletons and everything coming out the water, it looked like from him to these couple of guys. And this is the reality. Because you still look something like this in the 9-month transition in your mother's womb. And you are in a water sac. So you are part amphibian. It's just that you're an amphibian who doesn't have the solidified form or that hard, pressurized weight of water breathing in. Now you have it in what we call the atmosphere where it's less thin. Because every time you breathe in air, oxygen, when it gets to your lungs, it turns into water. Because it's still water. You're just breathing in water on a less densified form. So with that, there was going to be a war here. They was like, why are they coming here? They came here to mine the gold. So Anu had to make a truce by marrying him. Right? In order to give birth to Enki. But Enlil's mother was there from risk with him. And so was Ninti. Now the other one that came from another portion of this planet Earth, which a lot of people don't talk about, is who? Think about who else was born here you don't talk about. Because this person had to go inside. When we was talking about Albertine Shambhala, she had to go inside the Earth to rule.
Is that Aristotle?
Come on. Aristotle. Aristotle had it, and that too was because Anu said, that's my daughter. And who did he send for his daughter because she liked? Nergal. See that? I'm trying to get your answer because some of y'all deep. Whoever's here for the first time, I'm going to get to you. These are deep people. So what happens is, when you go down the line, Anu had a brother, Allahu. And Allahu was in that family line, and some of Allahu's family line over there, he married into that family by way of Allahu's wife. That's how he got Ninti in there. He married on the side of Allahu's wife as well. Then you start getting into how they ventured out, and he had other consorts throughout the universe. Because remember, his 2 parents also gave birth to the other, like on the planet Uranus and the planet Neptune. And he took 6 between them 2 planets, 3 on 3, because his mother and father ruled as Anshar and Kishar. And then the family grew without the solar system. That's why when people say that the Nibiru's coming, the wormwood is just coming to Earth, that's a lie. They've seeded all the planets. So they just don't come in the solar system for this planet. They go throughout all of the planets. And being that we don't call them, we didn't grow up calling them Anunnaki. What do we grow up calling them? Angels. And then we started diversifying the angels and start calling them gods and devils. The ones that were ugly, like the ones I just showed you, was the devils, and the pretty ones was the gods. And that's how we created this sensation of beings being gods and devils. The one that will come down and be mad with you, you called him the bad guy. Everybody that you didn't like, you called the bad guy. Like Lucifer. Lucifer became a bad guy. He's a man, but they got him as a spirit. They got him as a devil. And Lucifer and the devil is two different people. And they got it all confused. But these are the family traits of them. Remember, Anu had to take with Sedith's wife, and then he gives birth. But he also took of the family line of his brother. And he took of the family line of Anshar and Kishon. Now what's going to be complicated for you, maybe we'll do one day. These names are mentioned in the Holy Tablets. You just got to dig for them. Because you did run across Allah. And then there's other brothers and sisters. Okay? I know that confused you right there at that point. I see what you mean. Because they're scattered all over. But if you pay attention, you can see. Because he doesn't only use brothers and sisters. The word cohort will come up. Cohort will come up. Siblings will come up. And then you'll be able to relate who's who. I'll give you another one as soon as I remember what page it's on. Yes?
When he put down in the group that it was easy to want to come down the line to go.
Yes.
And they needed more people to help and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Where was that the scientific come in that they had to use Nephew's blood to?
That is a long line. That's like coming back. Here's what the master teacher was telling you. Here's what Dr. York was explaining. He always said, I'm going here like I got a board, right? He always said that if you notice through your scriptures, and not only the scriptures, the history and part of our planet, a lot of beings said 1 day is like 1,000 years. And 1,000 years is like what? 1 day. To our calendar, at first, when we were in Africa, 1 year made 360 days. If you multiply that by 1,000, you're going to come out with 360, you're going to come out with 3,600. You should come out with 3,600. When you go to 3,600, what you get is how long it takes you to go this way and how long it takes you to go that way. So during that period of time, they went back and forth. Large gaps of time had evaporated. Meaning, when they first came here, they're only seen like fish and amphibians. Remember with these guys. The next time they came here, they seen another creature that came out of the water, but he had protein. And they called him Lulu Amalu. Short. Well, everybody was short. And they got lazy. I don't want to dig in these mines. I'm like all that. So they had to mix genes with the Lulu Amalu to give him enough intelligence to run machinery to mine the gold. Now it's deep because I'm sitting there one day and I'm watching the History Channel and it says ancient aliens. And they're showing these big craters in the hole, and one dude was saying it's a mathematical code. Another dude said it's just the gradation of the earth as it shifts and it creates holes. One dude came up and said, when you go up in a helicopter and you go a certain height, you can see that was machinery. And they were running up to this mountain getting something. They were excavating, they was looking for gold. And then when they come back, right? Excuse me. When they came back, a lot of them died. So that's when they said, the person that lives here can live in this sphere. At the time they call it sphere. And them living in the sphere, we can get them to work. But you couldn't get nobody crawling on fours to get up in a big machine and run it. So they had to cross-breed by mixing blood in order to him to get certain intellect. And with that intellect, he was able to mine the gold for them. That's why they say there's a jump in evolution, and that's why you read in the Holy Tablets, and you get into Zechariah Stitching, and you get into other writings where they tell you how there was an experiments being done. They even saying it throughout science every day. Why did they come here? They came here to get resources. What did they leave? They left intellect, which may have messed us up. Because it was a jump in evolution. And instead of us staying peaceful, we got aggressive. And instead of us listening with our aggression, we didn't obey. And when we didn't obey, we started giving birth to creatures who was the same as us, had more aggression than we did, which roams the planet today. So, had we went by where we were developing from that Lulu Amalulu or that Homo erectus or Homo genesis, and we went step by step, it would have been a little different. But when we got that intellect, we got besides ourselves. Yeah, and that's the reality of it. It may have jump-started us too quick, too fast. And now a person will ask, like a person will ask Tavio, he don't know it yet, but I'm warning him. Somebody will write him and ask him about how could you do that? Was it like test tube? Was it? No. It's as simple as this. If everybody looks at their hand, look at your hand. If you look at your hand, the back of your hand, right? If you look at your hand, it's like codes on your hand. It's like squares connected. Lines are connected. You see the lines are connected? These ancestors of yours have the ability with a laser to peel back each portion of the code that's in your hand. And when they take the code within their hand by way of chemistry, alchemy, they take the code out. They can open up your skin without cutting it, butchering like we do, without a scalpel or a knife. And when they pull it back, they can they'll extract the blood out. And they will put in certain blood in your veins and just fold it back. That's how easy it is. With a laser. Fold it back with a laser, you won't have a mark or anything. So what happens is, this is the process they did it, and then allowed this being to get to adulthood. Already had another one, they did the same thing too, male and female, and then watched the children grow, and then the children had the intellect. The children knew how to use a thumb. Because sometimes you can't use your thumb like you really want to. And able to use your fingers. And then was giving them the knowledge of how to read. All that took place. And then after that, they said, well, we got our door. We left them with intellect. And we left them with part of the sciences of the universe. And the only tribe that retained that, because when they helped the Namos, were the Dogons. And that's why the Dogons had the science of the universe. They had all the sciences of the universe within their tribe together. They marked them with colors and signs and dots and all that stuff. Like, if you look at your head, here's the sciences they had. If you look at your head, right? Well, you know in your head, you ever see that spiral?
Yeah. And someone got the
You ever see that spiral?
Yeah, the circle one.
Now, if you ever listen to, like, if you're religious and you hear Jesus say, me and my Father are one. When you see me, you see the Father. If you talk to Nawabians, you'll find out how Nawabians will tell you, I am in the all, and the all is in me. I am one with the all, and the all is within me. I am a part of the all, correct? I can't do nothing without the all, because the all is in me. What they were telling you was this here.
I appreciate y'all for coming out to Moundville where the pyramid mounds at. Came out here to see the Lord. They have to lay it down like a son to lay it down. We'll see y'all next time, 2011.
Alright, once again, this December the 5th, 2010, we did another one of these Moundville special trying to get it together, and pretty much, we handle our business, trying to keep it, straight with the elders. So, peace out.